Hey guys, welcome to Fox 5 News Live. I'm Judayah Murray, bringing you in this hour because we have a very important conversation to have. I want to pose a question out there for you who are streaming with us. Imagine you get a phone call or a video chat. It's from your boss or maybe your daughter, your son. Would you question it? I mean, probably not. You know these people, you love these people with your boss, you like this person. Um, Most people wouldn't question it, and that's exactly what scammers are counting on, for you to kind of be off your game per se. And maybe that person asks you for money or tells you that they need something, and you end up getting scammed out a lot of it. So we have an interview coming up right now with the CEO of Truthscan. You're looking at Christian Perry on your screen right there. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk to our audience a little bit more about these deep fake scams, just how common they are. um, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but how common are these deepfake scams?
Yeah, they've become incredibly common. Thanks so much for having me on. I mean, we have just between 2022 and 2023, deepfake and AI generated scams have actually increased by over 1,800% just in that 1 year, and it continues to grow at an exponentially rapid growth rate. Right now, 50% of content online is AI generated, and the World Economic Forum thinks that by 2026, 90% of all media will be deepfakes or AI generated content.
90% is wild to me. I knew it was big. I see it coming. I'm on YouTube a lot, and I see the commercials and the ads, and usually they are deep fakes. But 90% just seems insane to me. And we know that people are losing millions of dollars, and it's not just regular people. Even companies can be fooled, sometimes even by like a fake CFO. What are some of the most shocking cases that you have come across?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big one that we saw recently was in Hong Kong, where a group of scammers impersonated the CFO of a design company and ended up extorting them out of over $25 million and had them essentially, called them and said, hey, you need to send this now. It's business critical. If you don't, you're fired. And the scammers successfully were able to take that $25 million away. We also see people trying to manipulate kind of geopolitical activities. I mean, there was one instance where a deepfake video went out that very negatively impacted the stock market around the Ukraine war. And this was a completely deepfake piece of content of Zelensky saying something about Ukraine surrendering that never actually happened. And so what people are doing is they're taking high quality photos, videos, images. A scammer only needs 3 seconds of audio to replicate a voice. One of the things that you brought up earlier was getting a call from a loved one. That's becoming increasingly common. And I've actually had friends who have had this happen to them where they get a call from their son saying, oh, I'm in Europe. I'm in big trouble. I'm held by the police. I've been captured by a gang, whatever it is, completely in their son's voice. And the only reason they, did not completely freak out was the fact that they were at home with their son. And so people are using these, and all you need, again, 3 seconds of audio from something online to then create an entire conversation that never happened and use that to manipulate whether it be somebody's loved ones or somebody that they work with.
That is absolutely terrifying. And I mean, thankfully, your friends, as you mentioned, were there with their son, so they knew it was fake. But can you imagine, like, a grandmother who is getting this call from her grandson that she hasn't seen in a while, and so she doesn't know if it's real or fake, and she just goes ahead and does whatever it is that they're asking for. And that's how you can lose your money. But are there any specific patterns or any red flags that we can look out for to try to determine if this is real or fake?
Absolutely. So one thing that you can always do and should do if you're getting a call that you're suspicious about or has very high stakes like this is hang up the phone and then call that individual. Because something somebody can do, and these scammers do, is they'll spoof a number, which means they'll even make it look like your son's number or your family member's number. But if you hang up and then call them, um, that's how you can get past it because it's not going to be routed to the scammer. It's going to be routed to that individual. In terms of actually looking at content, there are detectors like what we have at TrueScan, which is something we've made available to the public that anybody could use. You can upload a piece of audio, image, or video. But also, when it comes to video content, there's often discrepancies, and this is going to get harder and harder to use as a way to identify what's real and what's not. But right now, AI has problems. So you'll watch a video and you'll want to look at very closely at details. You'll see an eye color change. You'll see a doorknob that was in the background appear and disappear, or the face slightly change or bone structure, something like that is often a pretty clear tell that something's AI generated, as well as if something looks a bit cartoony, that's a great way to kind of at least start to be a little bit suspicious about this might be generated by AI.
Okay, that makes sense to me, and I'm glad that you're able to break this down in simple terms. It's very helpful for me, somebody who has seen it but maybe doesn't quite understand it. For those of our viewers who are listening in, some of them listening on the radio or watching us, streaming us, can you talk about how scammers are able to clone our loved ones or these political figures? I keep hearing you say it takes about 3 seconds, so can you walk us through that?
Yeah, when it comes to audio, just sticking it into a lot of the platforms out there that allow you to essentially upload a piece of content. These aren't black hat or, scamming pieces of software. These are everyday software, AI pieces of generative software that anybody can use and people are using for legitimate purposes. In terms of image and video, the ways that people can protect themselves is having less content online. I know I brought that up a little bit earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but the more pictures you have of different angles of your face or pictures you have that are high quality online, the easier it is for somebody to then go and deep fake you. And so one of the things that I see parents doing that I find to be very smart is limiting their children's because children are also being targeted by these scams and extorted or blackmailed by making them do things they never did, which is absolutely terrifying. But what I see parents doing is if you're gonna, if your child wants to create a TikTok video and you're okay with that, have them wear a mask or have something that makes it so that they're not just blasting their persona online for anybody to see, deepfake, or use. We also see people, keeping your Facebook or Instagram private and only allowing people to follow you that you know and
Mm-hmm.
trust also doesn't allow these scammers because what they're doing is they're going, taking these images, downloading them, and uploading them to one of these pieces of generative AI software to then create these deepfakes.
I think about it too, and maybe I'm getting more specific, and maybe I should say general, but um, a lot of us kind of offer up our images too, not just by being on social media, but you have to think like the trendy AI things where somebody will put their photo in and like it'll make a photo of them next to their favorite celebrity. We're kind of offering our likeness up when we do stuff like that, right?
Oh, 100%. And one of the things that we're seeing people do, or at least was happening, I'm not sure if this has been fixed quite yet, but with Sora 2, OpenAI's new social
Oh
media
yeah, Sora.
platform, if I go and tag somebody, OpenAI pretty much gives me access to then be able to create content of and or with that person. And so the more you're using these tools and offering it up to them, as you said, it makes it easier for somebody to then go and tag you on that site and create a piece of content and essentially, yeah, create deepfake
Now I know
fraud.
your company Truthscan focuses on detection. What are some of the tools and the techniques that are being developed to help those of us out here who are just trying to, live, identify deep fakes before it's too late.
Absolutely. So we've tried to make it as simple as possible, and we work with a lot of enterprise companies, but also offer up to individuals. And all you have to do is take a piece of content that you're suspicious about and upload it to truescan.com, and then we give you the likelihood that this was generated by AI, whether that's video, audio, or images. What we're seeing is a lot of people go and creating fake receipts to get reimbursements for things that never happened. That's one of the ways that we're currently helping companies. We see, and this is something that happened in a North Korean hacking group, was busted for generating fake IDs, not again with some sophisticated tool, but military ID cards with ChatGPT. That's
What?
something that we go and basically help companies ensure that when somebody's submitting an application for a loan, any kinds of basically submitting financial documents. Was this AI generated? Was this real? And so, again, anybody can go to our website, upload a piece of content, and we'll help you decipher whether that's real or not.
That is extremely helpful because it's not just ways that people can scam money out of you. It can also be a very embarrassing thing. Um, I know with the Take It Down Act, First Lady Melania Trump has been trying to make it so people who take your likeness and then try to use it for revenge porn can then be prosecuted. So, how could legislation like that help us fight back against some of those deep fake related crimes?
Absolutely. So that was a great step in the right direction towards preventing that kind of fraud, but it's very difficult for social media sites to monitor so much content that's being put out online and identifying whether it's real, whether it's not. But what we need to do is make sure that if somebody's likeness is being used, that they are consenting to that, whether it's embarrassing like revenge porn, as you brought up, or anything else, but also limiting how we allow people to use mature content or generate adult content is incredibly important because that's kind of the most damaging or embarrassing. And that's what's again really scary is when that's happening to youth or kind of teens in our country or anywhere around the world where somebody generates a piece of content and they don't necessarily know what to do other than they have somebody saying, "Hey, if you don't give me money, if you don't do this, do that, then I'm going to tag all your friends and your family and make this public." And so we just have to really make sure that we are making sure the right people have access to the right tools and then also legislating to protect, especially when it comes to mature content, who's getting used and who's able to be generated with those tools.
So now, Christian, I want to let you know we have about 2 minutes left, so I want to give you the floor. Um, if someone out there who is watching us, listening in right now, thinks that they've been targeted or eventually ends up being tricked by one of these deep fakes, what should you do first?
So you should absolutely, if you've already been scammed, you should contact the authorities, let them know that this has happened. Um, Secondly, one of the things that, as you brought up, the Take It Down Act is something that a lot of websites are taking quite seriously. And so if you're able to reach out to their website and say, "Hey," and I welcome people to come and use TruthScan to prove that this is not an authentic piece of content, say, "Hey, this is a video of me, an image of me. This is not real. It was generated by AI. You need to take it down." That is something that a lot of companies have started to take pretty seriously because they don't want the negative ramifications that come with that. Additionally, really looking to make sure that you are notifying, I guess, people around you that this has happened. Because another thing that we'll see is that if somebody does successfully scam one individual, we had something happen at a company that we work with, and once somebody had some money taken from that company, this group of scammers realized, okay, this is a good target. We should
Mm.
continue to try and target people at that group or that company. And so do let people know around you that whether you got scammed or not, hey, I got this call, hey, I got this email, and I just want to make sure that you know this was not real, it was not me, and make sure that you don't fall for what they're asking for.
Okay, that seems simple enough. And it just makes me think about the meetings that we have, even in corporate world and whatnot, where they tell you about phishing, but they tell you that if you get one of those emails, you need to reach out to the IT department. So I feel like this is the same kind of thing where instead of reaching out to IT, you reach out to those around you so that everybody knows this is happening. It could come, not necessarily to scare anyone, but just to make sure that we're all aware. It sounds like that is the best
Absolutely.
line of defense. So now you guys watching out there with us, this is Christian Perry, the CEO of Truthscan, who has been interviewing with us. I want to make sure you guys have the website so that you know where you can go to learn more information. It is www.truthscan.com. There are resources. They can help you detect any of these types of scams out there. I'm just still stuck on the 90% pretty soon. That was a big number.
It is. It's just so easy to create so much content, and people are taking advantage of that.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for leading this interview with us. We really appreciate you coming to on Fox Local to tell us a little bit more about deepfakes and how we can protect ourselves.